The story of god Amun. Amun, also Amun, Amen, ancient Greek, Ammon, Hammon, was a god of Thebes. This god has been worshipped since ancient Egyptian times along with his wife, the goddess Amunet. By the 11th dynasty, 21st century BC, Amun became the patron god of Thebes, replacing Munthu. According to legend, on the dry land nourished by the Nile River in Africa, the light of the god Amun once shone brightly, protecting the poor people. Therefore, Amun became a protective god, considered the king of the gods and worshipped by the people of the basin. Amun is a major god of the Egyptians and Berbers, living in North Africa. Pronounced Amana, in ancient Egyptian, the name Amun means hidden or invisible. According to legend, the god Amun created himself before creating surrounding objects. Amun's role is attested since the Old Kingdom, 3rd millennium BC. In the 11th dynasty, around the 21st century BC, Amun became the patron god of the ancient city of Thebes, Egypt, replacing the falcon-headed war god Munthu. The god Amun's family included both his wife Mut and his son the moon god Khonsu, creating the Theban triad. After the Thebes revolt against the Hyksos and under the reign of Pharaoh Ahmose I, the influence of the god Amun rose to a national level and he was merged with the sun god Ra to become Amun-Ra, or Amun-Re. After the Theban rebellion against the Hyksos and with the rule of Ahmose I, the god Amun rose to national importance, signifying his union with the sun god, Ra, to become the god Amun-Ra. Amun of great importance in the New Kingdom. God has superior wisdom and is a hero in the eyes of the poor, the sick, the hungry, and those in difficulty. At the same time, he is also very humane. During the New Kingdom, 16th–11th centuries BC, Amun-Ra maintained the primacy among the Egyptian gods, except for the period under Pharaoh Akhenaten, which was historically overlooked. Egypt called it heretical. Amun-Ra during this period was considered a mystical, creative god, the lord of the poor or disadvantaged, and a god who enjoyed worship at all levels. The worship of Amun-Ra, king of the gods, has developed to the stage of monotheism, when other gods became incarnations of Amun-Ra. The duo Amun-Ra and the god of the underworld Osiris are the two most widely recognized gods among the ancient Egyptian gods. Thanks to his role as the main god of the New Kingdom, Amun-Ra has worship even outside of Egypt, in ancient Libya and Nubia, and is also recorded as Zeus Amun, the god known to the ancient Greeks as Zeus. Even in the ups and downs of history with the competition between the two ancient states of Egypt and Nubia, Amun-Ra is still the god who reigns on high. Ancient Egypt's 3,000-year history of the kingdom documents complex, constantly changing relationships with neighboring kingdoms. With the Libyans in the west or the Babylonians, Hittites, Assyrians and Persians in the northeast, Egypt all took turns waging wars, signing treaties and participating in many trade relationships that brought mutual benefits. But among them, the most important, oldest and still controversial, is the relationship with the neighbor Nubia that holds the area to the south, today Sudan. The Nile River with its annual floods is the source of life in the harsh desert environment, and is also the flow that connects two cultures. Sharing that common flow of history, the Egyptians and Nubians worshipped the same supreme god. The god Amun, which was closely linked to the cult of the king and played an important role in the struggle. Supreme position of these two civilizations. During the Middle and New Kingdoms in the 2nd millennium BC, attracted by lands rich in natural resources including ebony, ivory, and leather goods and most importantly gold, Egypt led troops to conquer Nubia and turn it into a colonial province. When expanding their control over Nubia, the Egyptians built more temples of the god Amun, of which the largest temple was located at the foot of a sacred mountain called Jebel Barkal. It was this temple that the Egyptians claimed was the southern home of the god Amun, thereby forming the idea of Egypt and Nubia as a unified bloc and explaining the rule over both kingdoms. After when the New Kingdom of Egypt collapsed around 1069 BC, in Nubia the Kingdom of Kush emerged with a palace at Napata near the Jebel Barkal mountain. An interesting point is that even though the Egyptian conquerors are gone, their religious legacy continues to live on. Up to this point, the Kushite rulers remained fervently obedient to Amun. As his Egyptian predecessors used this god to legitimize the conquest of Nubia, now the king of the Kushites is Pa during a period of discord in Egypt, first to strengthen the northern home of the god Amun in Karnak, Egypt. Later claimed to act on behalf of the god Amun to restore unified control with Nubia and Egypt. This king then conquered the rest of Egypt and in 728 BC became the first of the Kushite pharaohs to rule Egypt for about 70 years. The cult of Amun still maintains a central position in religion and politics in Nubia. This is evidenced in the findings of an excavation conducted in 2000 in Dainjil, the royal city of the Kushites located on both sides of the Nile River south of Napata. Scientists have found relics that may have been a series of temples of the god Amun that existed in the same location for a total of about 1,000 years from the time the Kushite pharaohs ruled Egypt to the early centuries. Add when the Kush civilization entered a golden age and Egypt became a Roman colony. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.